Okay, hello, good evening, welcome. This is Phil. This is Discover Tai Chi for Limb Power, and I'm going to take you through a little wake up, focus, and relax mix. Three little phases just to go through. A focus on really good balance and stability, though. I'll say more. Quick note for your diaries or calendar. I won't be here next week, so cross me off for next week. I'll be here the following week, so just make a note that I sadly won't be able to join you next week. I'll put a message on my WhatsApp group. I'll email Emma, but I thought I'd just get it out as well on the video as well as a note. Okay, let's get started. My usual mix, seated, standing, and we're going to start off with a very simple movement. I'd like you to try and have a reasonable base of support. It doesn't matter that you can see my feet or not, but I really want you to see if you can really get a feel for all of your body weight is actually really passing down and you're in a very balanced and stable position. Okay, so that might mean that you have to do a little bit of sideways movement. Might mean that you have to do a little bit of forwards and backwards movement so that the weight passes from heel to toe and vice versa, like so. There's this little sweet spot where everything just feels as though it's just, if we could draw a straight line and turn me around, you'd see that I was nicely balanced as much as I can. So try and find that sweet spot. And then we pick the hands up as if picking up a parcel. Bring them in front. I'm going to just turn around. You don't have to, just so you can see. There's my parcel. Let me turn back. And then we just let that parcel expand. Shoulder width, just about there, and then squeeze back. And then once again, shoulder width. Could be a breath in, squeeze back. And we do that one more time. Shoulder width. Could be a breath in, squeeze back, just to keep that feel. And then let the parcel down. And you can either just have a little move if you need to, if that feels a bit onerous, just to be in that one position. But then recenter, restabilize, bring that parcel up again. This time we're going larger. So as we open, see if you can keep the palms facing in, but we're going larger and larger. It's almost as if the parcel, or it could be a large ball, expands, and now we squeeze back in. You'll probably feel muscles of the chest and shoulder girdle engage as we squeeze back to that original size and shape. And then we go again, go large. Just breathe normally. It'll probably be too big of a movement to really go with your breath comfortably, and then back. Squeezing back, muscles of the chest, shoulder, complex working. One more time. So again, a little set of 3. Back we come. Fab. And then pop that parcel down. Excuse me, still got a little residual cough from my cold a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so that gets us moving, our little wake up phase. Next movement, we're going to do 2 hands hold the sky. So we're moving up. I'll just move back a little bit. Once again, we want to have this really grounded stance, balanced, and all of it traveling down through the legs into the ground. And then we cross. No, we don't. We're doing 2 hands hold the sky. We pick the hands up, turn them over, and press up. And as you do so, you've got to see if you can keep that sense of balance. And then as we drop, hands to either side, we can settle down a bit into that stance. And then once again, slowly coming up, pressing up. But again, pay attention to how that balance of yours is traveling down. And because the hands go above the head, that has quite an impact on our center of balance. Pushing upwards and then down as we go. Should feel as though we're dropping deeper into our legs, even our prosthetic legs. Pushing up. Last one. Excellent. Good job. Let's just come out of that stance. Just have a bit of a move, especially to ease pressure in sockets and things like that. I'm going to sit down for the next movement or two. It's spring. We've got blossom, flowers beginning to really make themselves known. So that's what we're going to be. We're going to be a flower opening to the sun. So we're going to take our hands, put them together, okay? And we're going to turn them so that the backs of our hands are facing one another. And we're going to look down towards the ground. If you sat down with me, hands can fall between the legs. If you stood up, they're just directly pointing down to your feet. Then you're going to open out. You're going to start to look up. You're going to turn the hands out. They'll fall away to the sides. Let the rib cage lift and you look up. There you go, a little smiley flower. And then as nighttime comes, you reverse that and you begin to close up. Bring the backs of the hands together. Morning again, so we begin to open up once again. Turning the hands out, lifting the rib cage, lifting the head, letting my hands and arms fall back. And then once again, closing up for the evening as we do so. If you wish, this could be a big in-breath as you open up. And then an out-breath as you close. That's a big in-breath and out-breath, so don't force things. Let's go a couple more times. Good one for the shoulders, opening up at the front. And then as we close and round our backs, we're really opening at the back. So there's this alternation of closing and opening from one to the other. Final close. And then just come back, nice and relaxed. Just like so. Okay, so that gets us woken up a little bit, I hope. Focus is the next movement. And the first movement that we do with focus is to bring the palms together, push them forwards and up, and then down. And we get this cycle going. Don't worry if you can't push your palms together. Don't force things. If your hands don't do that, don't force them into a position that doesn't suit them. But we're cycling or circling the hands forward and down and up You can let the body lean into the movement, whether you're seated or standing. You can make those circles as large as you like, so you can really lift the hands, bring them down. It's almost a bit of a chopping type motion if you wanted to think of it that way. Again, a good mobilizer of the shoulders. Might even feel the hands and palms warming up. I'm going to do one more cycle before coming to a rest. Okay. Standing up for the next one, and some rotation and weight shift. Coming up with fisherman casts his net. Quite challenging. If we're sat down, shifting weight from hip to hip. So first of all, I'm going to pick my hands up and then tilt them to one side. Doesn't matter which side you start with. Have the palms facing outwards and then sweep them around in a big arc. Turn the hands over and then sweep them back. Big rotations. And as you begin to get into that movement, although we're trying to keep a very stable base, see if you can have some weight shift from one side to the other, but that you maintain a really good stable base. So we've got rotation of the chest and torso, and the hands and arms, and we've also got this rotation through the hips and this weight shift from one side to the other. Challenging. So really pay attention that you don't push too far from one side to the other. So you can maintain a really good ground contact. I'm going to do one more to each side. Here we go. Last one. You're going to come back to the center and relax. Okay. Two more challenging movements. I'll do the next one standing and then the next one seated. First one is, well, the next two movements are very akin to ballet. First movement is called carrying the moon down to the earth. If you've been with us before, we've done this movement. Again, requires lots of stabilization in the trunk. As much as we're leaning and looking up, we need to be maintaining a really good ground contact, a really good sense of stability as well. So it's this balance between these two kind of opposing forces, up and down in both directions. So let's have our moon up on your right side. I'm looking up in that direction. I'm reaching up, but as I do so, I bring some weight over so that I can reach over to the moon. Bring it back. I know my hands are out of view, but as we come in, I'm bringing the moon down to the earth. And then it swaps. It's up on the left side. I'm looking, shifting some weight, but keeping a stable base of support as I reach across. Bring that moon down. Just like so. If you wish, as I go to the right again, reaching up, it's a slow motion catch of a ballerina. And I've caught her, and then I gently lower her down to the stage. Okay? Don't drop her, for goodness sake. To the left side. So it could be the moon if we want to have that image in mind, or if you feel more dance-like, you could go for the leaping ballerina and you catch her mid-flight and guide her down. Let's go to the left again. Bring her back. And that's the last one of those, okay? Because we're going to have a little kick and a shake and just ease off. Because we're going to do a similar movement, only it's called Phoenix Rising, higher into the sky. It's a series of wing beats, basically. But again, with this shift of weight from one side and then to the other, again, lots of trunk stabilization in play. I said I would do it sat down, so I'm going to do so. Remain seated or standing as you wish, but just to demonstrate. So for people who are seated, again, it's about this balance of shifting weight, but not shifting so far that you jeopardize things. So you kind of got to shift weight just enough to kind of get that element of the exercise, but not go too far. Same as if we're standing. Okay. So we start in this same hand position as if embracing something, but it's a wing beat. So we take the hands out to the side. I'm shifting weight, looking up. If I can bring the backs of the hands together, so much the better, but don't force things. And as I bring the hands down in an imaginary wing beat, I recenter. And I'm ready now to do the same on the opposite side. Shift of weight, but not too far. Again, it's got a very ballet-like feel. Here we go to the opposite side again. My weight shifts from one hip and then to the other, but I'm maintaining a sense of stability as I do so. If you're standing up, you'll really feel muscles within the chest and shoulders and torso working hard. Just breathe comfortably with the movement. Here I go again, off to the left. Don't worry if we're in sync. I'm going to do one more to each side. So just bear with it. That's it. Here we go. Fab. Come to a rest. There we go. That's quite a workout, I think. I can feel it, so I can imagine you're feeling that torso of yours really having to work in those positions to maintain stability. We know from research that this is really important for us with limb loss and limb difference. Our sense of balance and coordination gets disrupted, and in one sense, the only way that we can help restore some of that balance and stability is to practice in positions that challenge it just enough, not too much, but just enough. And this is a good way of doing so. Okay, let's have some more focus movements. So we're going to do pushing palms. It gives us a bit of a reprieve. I'll stay seated, but you can do this standing. If you're standing, excuse me, bit of cough. If you're standing, again, that nice stable base of support. And we've got palms facing uppermost. It's as if we're holding two soups. We're going to take the right hand, tip that hand as if tipping the bowl of soup, and then push across the body to the left. And then turn the hand over, bring it back, and then tip the opposite bowl. This is my left hand, and it's pushing across to the right. And then it turns over and brings back a fresh bowl. And we just alternate from one hand to the other. Try to look in the direction in which you push I'll plan to push. That helps lead the movement. So I look to the right in this case as I push my left hand over. And we're getting a nice, again, stretch through the shoulders, through the arm, as we do so from each side, pushing, drawing back. Good job. Here we go again. We get some good rotation in the upper part of the spine as well, which can easily be neglected. Push across. I'm going to do 2 more pushes, one on each side. Here we go. Excellent. And rest again. Okay. So that was our focus phase. And now we move into the relaxing phase. Relax. Come on, speak English. Relaxation phase. There you go. As we come towards the end of the session. So let's push some waves. Again, a little bit of rotation, but again, we're just easing things off. Little wavelets from one side to the other. I'll do this seated. So we're going to pick the hands up, turn to the right, drop the hands in our imaginary watery environment. Could be the sea. Push a wave, lift the hands clear. Turn to the left a little bit and do the same. Push a wave, lift the hands clear. So again, we get more rotation. Not quite so much as last time. And we've got this gentler movement that kind of eases us into this next part to bring things to a close. We're just calming things down. From one side and then to the other. I'm going to do one more on each side. Don't worry if we're in sync. Come back to the center. Fab. Let me stand up for the last few movements. Wise owl. Very easy, very gentle now. Again, wider stance. I'm really focusing on this sense of balance and stability created by my stance, my posture, the shoulder girdle, the way that I hold and use my hands and arms, and the way that my head rests upon my neck and shoulders. So I'm turning very gently to the right. Not going to make a big movement, not going to lift the hands too high. Again, I'm just really focusing on this rotation. And then to the left in a similar fashion. If we could have any kind of image for this, it might be that we're rotating around our spines. And that there's a axis, so to speak, around which we rotate. In classical sort of Tai Chi texts and others, we get this image of the movement with stillness. So as a still center or a still core at the very center and around which everything else is moving So let's go once more to each side. And that stillness is also pertaining to our state of mind, our emotional state as well. Calm, relaxed as well. Fab. Okay. And to finish, to bring things to their close, we'll do Gather Celestial Energy and Gather Earth's Energy. So again, we want to have this sense that there's a still center within us. And although we're moving, we're in touch with this sense of stability and stillness and quiet. It's all encompassed in a single word in Chinese, Jing, which translates as quietude or serenity. So let's see if we can finish off. Bringing the hands up. And as we look and lift towards the sky, we're physically balanced and also emotionally, cognitively, psychologically balanced as we bring the hands down. Sweep them around. Gather our stars. Let them go. Wrap ourselves in the blanket of the earth. Gather Earth's energy, as it's called. Little moment there before we just let the hands fall away. I'm going to do that one more time because we're a few minutes a little bit late getting started. So let's do one more. Gather celestial energy, looking up. Bringing the hands down. Gather our stars. Gather Earth's energy, wrapping in an imaginary blanket. And then letting everything go. Wonderful. Ease yourself out of that stance. So there we go. We've had a wake up, focus and relax themed session. And we've had this focus on being very stable and very aware of our stability and balance and trying to be very mindful of it as and when we move. And we've got this idea of movement with stillness, Jing, as it's called in Chinese, this sense of serenity or quietude. So I hope that was interesting and nice and relaxing. Don't forget, as I said at the beginning, no class or session next week. I'll see you the following week, but just make a note in your diaries. Look out for a message on WhatsApp to that effect. I will bring the recording to a close and I will see you in a couple of weeks' time.